concept of the Kimura, first I want to go over the grips, okay? So there's many different grips that you can use, and there's many things that you can kind of chain together. The traditional grip is grabbing with the thumb, right? So some people frown upon this because it's a weaker grip and it's easier to circle out of, right? Like when I want to finish the Kimura, I normally switch to like the monkey grip. But a lot of times when I'm setting the Kimura up, I'll go with this grip right here to start getting the position, okay? But one grip that's not utilized a lot is a lot of people don't use the sleeve grip, okay? So like what's neat about the sleeve grip is when I start to push the arm back, if he circles the hand in, like it makes it like I can keep this grip and I can still work it back, right? So like if he circles out of this grip, I have to now circle back and fight to get this grip back, or a lot of times I lose that grip. Where it's kind of like the same thing with the deli hiba. When I grab the pants, no matter what, if he circles this out, right, like I can palm this back and I can keep this arm from him getting this grip back, okay? So now I can start to reach and I can start to pull his tricep, and then I can bend the arm right here, okay? So, but a lot of these things are about setting these positions up, right? Because a lot of times if he's postured here and his hands are on me, it's not easy for me to like get this grip and do these things. There's things that I have to chain together to get him to put his hands on the mat or to set these positions up. So what I want to think about is grip 1, grip 2, and then grip 3, right? And you want to set them up all a little bit differently. So those are the 3 things I want to think about with grips. Now I want to talk about finishing the Kimura before we start setting up how we're going to get the Kimura. Okay, so when I finish the Kimura, I sit up over, I reach under, I grab my hand, and this is a lot of times right here where I switch to the monkey grip, right? So it's just grabbing here like this and here like this, okay? Now, here's the thing that I see a lot of people make a mistake with, is they like just start to push the hand up, right? And I'm not saying you can't get the tap here, all right? Once you start getting your hand behind this person's back, it's a lot easier to get the tap, right? But I want to be efficient with it. So what I want to do is I want this elbow to stick to my sternum. So I'm going to bite this down here like this, right? This elbow is trying to put pressure right here, okay? And I'll also rotate my hand. So like I'll rotate this hand forward to start to, what I want to do is I want to take out all the slack in his arm. The less slack there is, the less flexibility that he has. So when I bite this elbow down and I start to rotate his arm forward, now what I want to do is I want to start to turn. Okay, so if I go here, look. But do you see like I'm using all my arms, right? So if I'm fighting someone that's huge, let's say Jeff Ray, and I put him in a Kimura, he's just gonna easily beat my arms versus his one arm, okay? But what I need to do is I need to like lock everything to my body. So I want to pull my arms together. I want to try to pull all the slack. I want to think about pulling his elbow and his arm away from his shoulder. That way I get all the slack out of it, right? And then I'm just turning my body. And do you see how like it's, so otherwise we're doing this. And now it's like my arm fighting his arm. And it's a longer process and a harder process to gain that finish. So just think about making sure that you really get the Kimura close to you. All right, elbows in, pressure down, and then you're gonna start to turn here, okay? So that's kind of the concepts of finishing it. Same thing if I go to the sleeve here, right? And then I reach, and then I'm gonna grab the fabric back here, okay? So this one works really well when they're like postured up here like this, and you can't get them to break the posture. I can reach behind here, and I can start to push his elbow out and back, okay? But now, I'm not saying that you might not be able to finish it here, but the leverage point's hard. So I'm going to pull and feed to my wrist right here, right? Then again, I'm gonna put down the pressure here, and then I'm gonna turn. So, those are a little bit of the concepts right now to start with the Kimura, okay? The big thing that you guys have to think about is when I bait him, all right? So there's a few different ways to bait him. I can sit up and go for the hip bump, right? And then he puts his hand down right here. So then I come under and then I wrap it through, All right, so getting him to offset his base to get to the Kimura. All right, so a lot of people will sit up, right? They'll go for the hip bump. He'll base right here, and then I'll come and fall back on the Kimura. Okay? Now, another concept is I like to do like a no-handed Kimura. All right, so my hand goes under, like into his armpit. All right, and then I pull here, gable grip, right at his shoulder, and I glue his shoulder right to my body. All right, so now I want to open, I want to get his arm away from his body, so I go here, right? And then I start to bite it up, okay? If you can't get the leverage or they're flexible, we put the hand on the hip, and then we start to go here. So this one works really well in the gi, or the no-gi. In no-gi, I get to do these underhooks. You know, I try to go for overhook, underhook. So I come under, pull, shoulder to me, right? Now if I can't get the leverage point, he's flexible or whatever the case is, I keep this underhook, and then I reach under and I switch so I have both of my arms in here in his armpit, right? Now I can pull this one back, even if it's at my head. As long as I'm here holding and I have this, right, I can reach, right? Even if it's clubbing my head, I can pull the elbow right here, right? So like a lot of people will club the head here because I have it stuck, you know, and he's like, well, I know if I go this way, I'm gonna get Kimura. So he's here, right? So I go here where I have this ready, and then I just push this, right? Now I lock the Kimura in, and then I go up. All right, so those are just a couple concepts to play with right now in the Kimura. Practice those details, all right, and then we'll keep building up on it. A really cool thing with the Kimura is there's a lot of directions you can go with it. It's not just necessarily an attack, okay? So when I get the Kimura, right, what's also cool too is that I can control the wrist however way, you know, so like if I'm here and he's got his grips or whatever and I break the grips, right, and then I can frame, by just manipulating your opponent's elbow or their gi, right? Like pulling and turning, all right? You can manipulate which direction their elbow goes or which way their arm goes. And I don't think a lot of times people think about controlling the elbow, the tricep to get that position. So there's a lot of times that even if I'm here, I'll reach over and I'll grab his elbow or his tricep and I'll pull it to me. So that, look, even if he's holding my belt and I can't break this grip, right? I can reach over here and I can pull the elbow up. Sometimes I can get the wrist lock if I get his arm stuck, or they'll let go of it right away because it's attacking the wrist lock, and then I'll feed it in here. Okay, so that's something to think about. But the really other cool thing too is I can chase his back from this position by taking his arm and putting it behind my back here, right? So once I fold this arm behind my back, I can also use my head to start to get pressure, to get like a tap, all right? Or I can just let go of it, and then I can start to chase Derek's back here, okay? So I look for like back chases and sweeps, not just the Kimura, depending on how strong they are or what they're doing to defend it. So we were going with this underhook one just a minute ago, right? We come here, big thing is gable grips, all right? Pull his shoulder to me, and this is, I get a really high efficient sweep here too, because this elbow goes under his neck, right? And then I start to lift here. So I like suck this in, especially if he's like grabbing his belt or my belt or whatever the case, and I can't finish the Kimura, right? Well, what I can do, this is great with butterflies. If I have my butterfly hooks in, all right, you can do it from closed guard, it's a little harder, but I go on his throat here, right? And then I get the sweep. So with my butterfly hooks in, it's like perfect because I can elevate. So I come under here, I pull the shoulder to me, all right? Now he's holding his belt, holding my belt, whatever the case be, and I can't get his arm to finish him, but what I can do is I can lift him. So I look for sweep options, okay? The other one we got is we come under, right? We try to do the no-handed one, which is gonna require I create space. And the big thing with closed guard is you wanna learn to get your hips out, right? When you get your hips out, it allows you to get angles. So this blade is cutting into his shoulder, right? And then I'm starting to attack the Kimura here, okay? So if that doesn't work or he straightens his arm, I catch the arm right here and I make sure I know where his elbow is. And then I'm going to grab both of my elbows and I'm going to put pressure, my knee on his shoulder, and I'm going to pull here, okay, for the straight arm bar. Then if it passes all the way across, I catch it by holding here, right? This goes here. I sit up and I grab the cross. This pops in, and then I chase Derek's back. Half guard, right? We're going to look for the Kimura. We're going to sit up. Now, same thing, okay? So when I'm getting the Kimura out, I'm pulling this, and if it's not working, right, I'm gonna put his hand on his belly button. I'm gonna put my head as close to him as possible, right? Then I'm going to open and plant my foot, okay? And I'm going to push his hand into his belly and let it pass, right? So like I'm in a north-south position here. The biggest thing is I'm in the better position here, okay? Keep his hand on his belly button, and no matter what direction he goes, you're gonna keep the position. But if I let go of this, I'm in trouble, all right? We turn into like a north-south scramble. Either one, whoever makes the move can win. But right here, by keeping this on his belly button, if he tries to come up into me, right, I put pressure on the shoulder so he can't come up into me. If he goes away from me, right, I keep the shoulder tight so he's stuck here, okay? Then I decide how I want to come up. So then I come up into this traditional position right here, right? So if I want to attack the Kimura, I can. Or if I just want to throw the hook over and chase it back, I can do that. So with the Kimura, the nice thing about it, it's not just an attack, it's a constant chasing of the back, or it's a constant chasing of a position, all right? But when I let go of that, I lose that control. Or if I do the sweep and then I let go of it, I lost all that work. Where if you just keep the arm, you can kind of manipulate your opponent the whole time. I catch this on a lot of people if I can't get their arm behind their back, especially if I get their back. If I get this position right here, okay, and I fall to the side, all I need to do, okay, even if I get Derek like this, I'll use a reverse hook here so he can't turn into me, all right? I'll block my blade into his neck. I'll turn everything nice and tight, and then I'll start to push his hand this way so that I get the Kimura finish like this, okay? It works great. Like even if Derek grabs his gi or his belt up here, right? A lot of people grab this and like you're stuck here and you can't get the arm. I don't really even care about getting the arm. What I'm gonna do is drop my forearm on his neck, right? And I'm gonna push his elbow up. All right? So it's kind of a neat little thing that you can do when you have their back and you can't get their arm behind their back. You're just gonna lock their shoulder and their arm out and get their elbow to flare up. All right? So with the back chase, right, you can do it from half guard, you can do it from a lot of different positions, but you're gonna lock the Kimura in, put it against his belly button, right? I'm gonna shrimp backwards, and then I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna turn around until I'm here. All right, now, nice and easy, I push his hand right into his belly button, and then the hook comes right over the top. All right, then this hook slides in, nice and easy, okay? Now, I'm gonna fall this way, and I'm gonna push right here. All my forearm pressure on his neck, and then I'm gonna pull the elbow, all right? So I get a lot of success with that, right? Then what's nice is, even with this, you can come right over to the arm bar, right? Or you can just feed the arm through and then go right to the back. All right, last time. Half guard, lock the Kimura in, we shrimp away, we turn. Right now we're in north-south. Now we're on the side of him. All right, keep the knee close to his leg. Push, catch, catch. This might be a battle right here, right? Like he might be defending this and it might not come in. And that's not like the end of the world, right? I can take my knee and I can push it down here and then I can start to get the shoulder, all right? I can just, even if I can't trap the arm, I can still come over and I can just put my hook in right here, right? I just like to trap the arm if possible, like whatever way that is. Even if it's here, I just scrape it down and I get it, all right? So, but just understand that you can always, no matter what, be chasing the Kimura, right? So like same thing, like I go to the arm bar, it doesn't work, I can't finish the arm bar, I can take the leg off and make it feel like Derek can come up into me, right? And as soon as Derek comes up into me, I just chase the back here again, right? And then I start to lock the Kimura out, and then I keep chasing the back. It's just a position that if you can maintain the shoulder, you can constantly improve your position.